likes to get angry? Tell me. And is there anyone who doesn't get angry? Of course, when you get angry, are you always enjoying getting angry? Or you feel elated getting angry? Tell me. Anger has been viewed from different perspectives because all of us get angry at one time or the other. Sometimes some people live in anger more than the other person. Some people don't get angry too easily. Some people bottle their anger, and all sort of things about anger. And like I said, we have different ideas and different views of anger. Some people have seen anger as the demonic weapon. Of course, if you go to the scriptures, you can see that when St. Paul says in Ephesians chapter 4, from verse 26, where they say, be angry, but do not sin. Do not let the sunset meet you still angry. He ended by saying in 27, do not give the devil the opportunity, because when you are angry, the devil takes over. So they see it as a kind of a weapon. And of course, in some psychology, people tend to see anger as a negative emotion. We're going to talk about that later. As a negative emotion, of course, it's an emotion, it's a feeling. But is it truly, really, really negative? And of course, some have seen it as a disease. That somebody is sick when he gets angry. It's actually a sickness. You know, angry person is a sick person. Some people see it that way. But is it really true that all of us are sick if we are getting angry? And some see it as a disorder, psychological disorder, or a mental disorder. So does that mean all of us who get angry are also psychologically sick? We are crazy? Of course, when we get angry, we sometimes act as if we are crazy. But is it really true that we are crazy? And of course, people see it as it's a sin. Some define anger as actually a sin. But is it really that it's a sin? It's something that is natural to all of us that we cannot avoid. Can we really say it's a sin? Many all of us commit sin every now and then because we get angry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, 15 times a day. And of course, some believe that you can't control anger. It's uncontrollable. Is that really true too? Anyway, today, we are welcoming you to Catholic Broadcasting Ministry, Capuchin TV, and to this special program, taking care of your psycho-spiritual well-being. And my name is Joyzy, Pius, Egunjobi, Reverend Father, and today we'll be talking about anger and your wellness, anger and your health, anger and your health, anger and your wellness. Of course, like I said earlier, all of us get angry at one time or the other. The frequency differs from person to person. While some people get angry almost every now and then at everything, at every occasion, some people don't really get angry too easily. And some people are actually angry, but they pretend not to be. They cover everything up with a smile. But you have no idea what is inside of them, because sometimes they have a lot of crazy plan in their mind that they are going to do as a result of anger, yet on their face you only see a smile. So what is this anger all about? And of course, it's been defined or been seen as a kind of an emotional state of feelings that is typically associated with negative thoughts. And I'm going to talk about that maybe later. Negative thoughts, physiological arousal, and the maladaptive behavior. And when you talk about the negative thoughts here, is that some of us believe that, anger is not from outside, it's right within you. That anger is what you get as a product of your thoughts, your perception, your interpretation, your response to something that is external. And when you feel in certain way due to your thought process, we believe that Anger then follows suit. Take, for instance, if I get disappointed by you, by what you did, I feel disappointed. From my being disappointed, I can begin to get angry. And that is why some people call anger a negative emotion. Of course, it is a very strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, and that can also show itself in kind of hostility and a strong feeling of displeasure and usually antagonism. On that of antagonism, you really want to do something. So that's why sometimes when you are angry, you don't care. Like I always say, anger has no fear of anybody, has no respect. When you are angry, you can do anything. You can turn out the whole world upside down. You can destroy your own certificates. You can break your TV because you are angry. And it has no respect. It doesn't matter who the person is, whether it's the president or the governor or priest, bishop, whatever it is. When you are angry at that person, you can do crazy stuff without respecting who that person is. Of course, we do get angry at God sometimes, And when you get angry at God, you know what you say? You say all that kind of crazy things. That's leading us to even, committing sin because you are angry. And it also can be seen as a response to unwanted action of another person. Somebody has done somebody, maybe you are sitting down and somebody just mistakenly tap on your leg and it hurts you, you feel hurt, and then you start getting angry at that person. Yet the person may not actually mean to hurt you, it's just a mistake. But the way you interpret that tapping of your leg, if you look at it negatively, that is where the negative thought comes in, and the negative thoughts can go with negative emotions. When you have a negative emotions and you start feeling that this person really want to hurt you deliberately, you know what's going to happen? You get angry. And when you get angry, you can either want to retaliate or to use verbal weapon to really make sure you hurt the person back. A kind of a revenge. And of course, especially when you perceive the person who have done this as disrespecting you or demeaning you or threatening you or is neglecting you, because that also happens when somebody is saying something or when you are saying something to somebody that you demanded a response from that person and the person is not saying anything. Instead of letting go, you really want the person to say something and the person is not saying anything. What do? You get angry. You get angry and it can really take hold of you. Also, it can be as a result, like I said earlier, of a disappointment or disrespectfulness of when you begin to feel worthless or when you feel sad. You can get angry. And of course, your anger can be stimulated also when you are under the influence of a substance or alcohol. That can make you to also have negative thoughts and of course can bring negative feelings that can actually make you angry, and you can really do crazy stuff when you are doing that. Again, that's why we call anger a secondary emotion, that anger in itself is not the primary thing that just comes by, something leads to anger. And like I always say, you permit it because you're always in control. We'll talk about that later, maybe not today, maybe in the next episode. That we know when you look at anger, when something happens to you, the way you interpret that is actually make you angry, meaning that you can actually tell yourself this is not what you should be thinking. You challenge or you dispute your irrational beliefs or irrational thoughts so that you can actually look at things more clearly in the way they are. So this anger is a thing that we all deal with, but I can tell you there are people who are day and night crying and troubled and disturbed because they always get angry and they don't like it. They don't like the way they feel when they get angry. They don't like what they do. When they get angry, they don't know the way they act, what they say when they get angry, and they are really trying to do something, but still sometimes they still find themselves helpless because when they are angry, it's like you set a fire on something. It's burning. It's burning themselves and it's burning whoever they are discharging that anger towards. So when you now have your anger to the level that you can't control it, oh my God, you know what's going to happen? You can become very violent, and that's why you want to fight, because all you want to do is to hurt the subject, to hurt the person, to make the person feel this, to cause discomfort. To, if you are feeling pain, you want the person to feel the same pain, even more enormous or more intense pain than what you feel. And that's why sometimes when you get angry, you really become very destructive. It can lead to, you can destroy your own life, you can destroy others. People have killed because they are angry. People have destroyed their entire livelihood because they are angry. People have, lost opportunities, lost friends and families because of their anger. And of course, people have, they have a lot of broken relationships, because of anger, because you can't manage it, because you can't handle it, and because you really feel hot at that period. So it is an experience that everyone have gone through, whether you are rich or poor, it doesn't matter, whether you are religious or an atheist, not religious, whether you are great or small, whether you are small or dull, whether you are smart, or you are just dull, whether you are wise or foolish, it doesn't matter. Whether you are black or red or yellow or green, it doesn't matter who you are. And not only even humans get angry, even animals get angry, and they attack their owners, when they are angry. So a lot of us, every creature also on earth actually do feel anger at one time or the other, especially when we feel discomfort. Again, it comes up with this anger and rage, and it can become really, really terrible on people. And yet, like I said earlier, nobody really, really wants to get angry. No, I don't want to get angry. And I'm sure you also don't want to get angry, because many times when you get angry, you don't feel good about it. Actually, your anger can make you angry. Your anger can make you angry, and you become really, really angry, not just with any other person, even with yourself for getting angry. And that's why many times the result of anger is to, we have a self-guilt and, of course, self-blame sometimes, or regret, that you begin to say to yourself, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I've said too much. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, why should I have done this? And we begin to ruminate on that, because it's something that takes hold of us that we don't know exactly what it is. So when we come back, and we're going to go on break, and we'll come back, we look more into this anger, what causes this anger, of course, and what actually are the biopsychosocial techno effects of this anger in our lives, in our health. How does it really make us feel? How does it affect our well-being, total well-being, holistic well-being? And that's what we'll do when we come back. Once again, this is Capuchin Broadcasting Ministry Television, and on this program, taking care of your biopsychosocial spiritual self. If you are enjoying this program, even before we come back, please subscribe. And not just subscribe, you can also share with your families and friends, if you are enjoying our program. Stay tuned.
Hail, Holy Queen, Mother of Mercy, hail our life and sweetness and our hope. To you do we cry, poor banished children of Eve. To you do we send up our sighs, mourning and weeping in this valley of tears. Turn then, most gracious Advocate, your eyes of mercy toward us, and after this our exile, show unto us the blessed fruit of your womb, Jesus, O merciful, O loving, O sweet Virgin Mary. Amen.
To get Hail Holy Queen as your Skiza tune, send Skiza followed by code 738-10258 and send it to 811.
Welcome back, dear friends, again to this Capuchin Broadcasting Ministry, Capuchin Television, and to this program, taking care of your bio, psychosocial, spiritual well-being, and psycho-spiritual well-being, if you want to put it that way. My name is Joyzy Pius Egunjobi. Joyzy Pius Egunjobi. Some people said I talked about my name too fast, Joyzy Pius Egunjobi. So it's Joyzy Pius Egunjobi, and I'm your host here, and we've been talking about anger. Just during the break, I had a little discussion, and somebody was asking about, can anger be positive? You know, like I was just saying the other time that people say it's from negative emotion, but of course the anger itself, I don't really see it as negative because it is natural. It is part of us. It's something. It's our defense mechanism. It's part of our response to the FFF, fight, flight, and freeze response that is natural to every human person. So it's natural, and because it's natural to us, I don't see it as negative. It is not so in itself. Anger in itself is not bad. Anger in itself is not wrong. Anger in itself is not sin. Anger in itself is not inappropriate. What is inappropriate is what you do with your anger. In fact, you can use anger to bring about something that you want to cause change in the life of people. Even in your relationship, sometimes when somebody says something to you and you get angry, you see the person actually taking correction to say, yes, okay, I got it, I didn't mean to get you angry. So it can really be positive and could be used positively. However, many times, what we say actually what causes anger is a lot of things. Biologically, we feel that way, and it's not your fault in any way. It's just because you are made that way, and it's the way your body tries to protect you. The body tries to fight for you. Your body tries to shield you from some things, or to tell people stay away, stay off. It's a protection. It's for your security. However, like I said, if you don't manage it well, it can turn out to be something else that can take over you and ruin you. Psychologically also, it's like that. It's a response that actually trying to make you, to keep you in being, and of course to feel secured. And socially also, like I said, you can use it to bring something into life. And spiritually, even, spiritually, we always talk about even righteous anger, and you hear the scriptures talking about God got angry, but we said, his anger does not last forever. But even when God got angry, or like when Jesus got angry, in the temple and beat the people out of the temple because they were turning the temple into the dens of robbers. Guess what? Do you see that as wrong? We don't see what Jesus did at that level as wrong. We always call it righteous anger because the intention, what the anger was not directed to the people themselves, was directed to the act. So it was corrective. So we don't see that as anger. However, whether it is anger, whether it's the righteous or not righteous, whatever, If it's not uncontrolled, that's where it is problem, when you cannot actually check it. And many times the way to check it is even before it gets out of hand. By the time you know it's coming, you need to watch it, because when it takes over you, you may become an instrument in the hand of the devil to achieve anything. When I mean the devil, I'm not just talking religiously, I'm talking just naturally. The devil in this case will be that you are doing exactly what you don't want to do. Because most of the things you do in anger, if you're in your right senses, you don't want to do it. That's why some people call it, they call it a mental disorder, but it's not really mental disorder, it's just natural. And we are all capable of getting angry, and of course, we all do get angry. Again, the intensity or the level or the frequency of how we get angry differ. Some people don't burst out, they bottle it up, and we always encourage people not to bottle that up. We will talk about that maybe in the next episode. But however, when you are angry, what does it do to you? What does it cause to your health? That's where we're actually going. What effect does it have on you? And of course, you can begin to reflect on that yourself and look at occasions where you have been angry. How did you feel? What happens to you? Because when you get angry, your anger can lead to headache, can give you physical headache, that you start having your head panting. And of course, you can have digestion problems because you have a kind of abdominal pain because you are angry, because even, you can be messed up because some of your hormones can be, can misfire, and of course anger can make you not to sleep. We call it insomnia, and can make you not to sleep because you are angry, you really want to sleep, you cannot, you are disturbed, you are rolling left and right, you are doing that. So it's actually, and by the time you are unable to sleep, by the time you eventually maybe get up in the morning, your whole day is messed up because you don't have a nice rest, a good sleep. So it can affect that life and can affect your productivity or your effectiveness in whatever you set to do during the day. Of course, it can increase your anxiety and it can cause you depression. And when it causes you depression, it can also lead to go to the extent of making you have a low self-worth of yourself, and that they can even get you to commit suicide because you are so angry. Or when you look at what you have done in the course of anger, so that also can affect you. And of course, we know that because you are angry, you can begin to have palpitation in your heart, and it can, of course, lead to high blood pressure. And of course, those who have high blood pressure should be careful at getting angry, because it can actually make your heart to race too much. And guess what? You can have heart failure. And so that's why you see some people, they are not sick, nothing is happening. Something small just happened like that, their heart pumps up like that, and they are gone. So you don't want to do that. Sometimes people believe that it can actually cause you skin problem, such as Alzheimer. It can cause that. It can cause you heart attack, like I mentioned. And of course, it can lead to stroke. Because when you are diabetic in particular and your blood pressure rises, diabetic and the blood pressure with the walk hand in hand and everything shut up like that, guess what? There's the break in your brain, the blood circulation in your brain has a kind of a gap there, and then you end up in stroke. You don't want to do that. Of course, we know it can cause a disconnection, affect your relationship, you begin to have unhealthy relationship because of your anger. And this relationship can be in terms of yourself, your relationship with your other significant others, your husband, your wife, you don't even want to stay with your wife or your husband in the same room, or your children, you don't want to see them around, or your children don't want to see you, all because of anger. And of course, it can cause a kind of a separation between you and God also, because in the process of anger, you may have said some things that are so serious that can be demeaning to God and can be demeaning to others. And when you have that with others, the issue of forgiveness and unforgiveness coming into play, and guess what happened? your prayers may not be answered when you are in that state, when you can't forgive, and when you actually get angry at somebody, you know you're also making the person also has every right to be angry. And by the time the person is retaliating with anger, it can really cause something that is terrible. Of course, like I said earlier, anger can lead you into sin. So, and of course, when you have sin, it means you have an unhealthy relationship with God, even with yourself, even with others. So, anger is a terrible thing that we need to watch. So, if you are enjoying and learning from us, again, like I said before we close, please subscribe, and not just subscribing, also try to share with your families and friends, to continue, not just this episode, everything we talk about in this program, and of course on the Capuchin TV, so that we can enjoy it together. So when we begin to think about this anger thing, again, we need to be mindful. By next episode, we'll be talking more about how to deal with it, because I think that's the thing some people really want to know. How do I deal with my anger? Of course, it is not your fault that you get angry, and I mean it, because it doesn't warn you before it comes. It just pops up. But the question is, even when you get angry, does it really help you? You know, you say, I'm angry at you. Okay, yeah, you're angry, and you have every right to be angry. But guess what? You need to get out of it before it takes over you and actually destroys. So it's not good to you. It doesn't give you good health of mind and body. It doesn't give you good rest. It doesn't give you good sleep. And of course, it can affect your biology, affect you biologically, psychologically, socially, and of course, spiritually. So anger, as it is, again, I said earlier, it is not wrong in itself. It is natural. So if you are angry, you are being normal. Please note that. If you get angry, you are normal. I repeat again, if you get angry, you are normal. So what is abnormal, what is uncalled for, what is not, should not be, what is sinful is what you do with your anger. What you do with your anger. So how do you, so by the time we're preparing for next week, so begin to think about when I'm angry, how do I feel? When I'm angry, what kind of thoughts comes to my mind? Because remember again, when you have negative thoughts, you're going to be having negative feelings. And when you have negative feelings, you're most likely going to be doing negative things. So we need to know that we need to master that. And that is why when Cain and Abel, when they offered their sacrifice, and God accepted, according to the scriptures, accepted the offering of Abel. And God did not accept the offering of Cain for whatever reason. Cain became angry, and God actually won. I see the devil trying to save you. I see your anger trying to rise. I see you going to be, he said, but God won and said to Cain, master it. You have to master that emotion. So what we'll be talking about is how to master this emotion called anger. And I remember, it doesn't come on itself. Something must have happened before we start getting angry. But again, that's what we'll be looking at in the next week. Once again, my name is Joyzy Pius, Egunjobi, a Reverend Father, and this is Capuchin Broadcasting Ministry, Capuchin Television, on this program, taking care of your psycho-spiritual well-being. Once again, if you are enjoying this program and you are learning from what we are talking about, please subscribe and do share with your family and friend. Till I see you next week, same time on Thursday, every week at 2:30 to 3 p.m. Eastern African Time. Be blessed.